Good day, everyone. I'm Roseanne Santa Ana, and I will be your math teacher for today. Before we start the lesson, I want you to watch a music video from YouTube.
Let's solve factor now. Factor now. A number that multiplies evenly into other numbers is called a common factor. The greatest of these commonalities is the greatest common factor. GCF. When letters are involved, we need to take small, include the lowest power. Now it's time to take the GCF with factor. Factor it now. We find the GCF. Factor is one factor, y'all. Write it out from parentheses, come there. Parentheses. Divide each original term by the GCF factor. The resulting terms go into the parentheses. Now it's done. Here's another kind of factor written. Difference of squares. A squared minus b squared is a plus b times a minus b. Yeah. Difference of squares. A squared minus b squared is a plus b times a minus b. Yeah. And if you have fraction with polynomials, don't cancel till they're factored all the way. All the way. There's a fraction now. Factor now. Whoop, whoop, like easy. Factor now. Factor now. Whoop, whoop, like easy. Now we can cancel now. It's fun. Reduce a fraction. Whoop, whoop, like easy. Cancel now. Fun. Reduce a fraction. There's a simplified fraction. Wow. A second degree trinomial is also called quadratic. If it starts with the 1, then you won't see the 1. The factoring's automatic. We need to think of two numbers that add to the middle and multiply to the last. Factors start with the letter and end with the numbers. Yeah, factoring is a fact. Well, if we see 4 terms without a GCF, then split them in half. Yeah, take 2 terms at a time. With each pair, we factor out the GCF. If the parentheses match, then we're in luck. Now that's the GCF. Write the common expression once, fill in the other factor with the terms that we have left. A cubed plus b cubed. AB squared, AB, b squared plus minus plus. Huh? Plus minus plus. Oh. A cubed minus b cubed. AB squared, AB, b squared minus plus plus. Huh? Minus plus plus. Oh. We can't remember operations with so. That's same. Opposite. Always plus. Hey. There's a fraction now. Factor now. Whoop, whoop, like easy. Factor now. Factor now. Whoop, whoop, like easy. Now we can cancel now. Fun. Reduce a fraction. Whoop, whoop, like easy. Cancel now. Fun. Reduce a fraction. There's a simplified fraction. Wow. With quadratic trinomials that start with something other than 1, we still must think of 2 numbers, but this time around it gets a little tough. Our numbers must add to the middle and multiply to the product of the first and last. Take the numbers and write 2 middle terms, split the expression, use grouping to finish the task. Factor now. It's fun. Reduce a fraction. Like easy. Factor now. Fun. Reduce a fraction. Like easy. Let's solve factor now.
So the title is Factors Completely the Different Types of Polynomials. So the objective for today is, at the end of the lesson, you, the learner, is expected to: letter A, differentiate the different types of polynomials; letter B, factor completely different types of polynomials; and last, appreciate the importance of factoring the different types of polynomials. So this is what is expected of you for today. So under factoring polynomials, we have different factorings, and factoring is just the reverse process of your topic and special product. So we have the first one, letter A, factoring the common monomial factor is the reverse process of the product of monomial to a polynomial. So we have the monomial times the polynomial. So we have xy plus xa. So this is what we will be factoring under the common monomial factor. Xy plus xa. Next factoring is factoring the difference of two squares. So under the factoring, the difference of two squares is the reverse process of the product of the sum and difference of two terms. We have the two terms, we have the sum plus, and then the difference minus. We have the product, multiply these two binomials, the product of the sum and difference of two terms. We have two terms. So that is equal to x squared minus y squared, or this is, we will be factoring this under the difference of two squares. So we have x squared and y squared, and then the difference, we have the negative. Okay, next type of factoring is factoring the sum or difference of two cubes. Okay, so we have here the sum, we have x cubed and then y cubed plus, so this is under the sum and difference, sum of two cubes, and then we have minus, we have x cubed minus y cubed, so this is the difference of two cubes, and it is the reverse process of the product of binomial and a trinomial. So we have here x plus y, the binomial, and then we have x squared minus xy plus y squared, we have the trinomial, and then we have x plus y binomial, and then we have x squared plus xy plus y squared, the trinomial. Okay, the next type of factoring is factoring a perfect square trinomial. So it is the reverse process of the square of a binomial. So we have here the binomial x plus y, then square. That's why it's called square of a binomial. So the product is, we have x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. This is called, when we factor this is called factoring a perfect square trinomial. So this one, again, this one, we have x minus y squared. So that is the square of a binomial. So the answer would be x squared minus 2xy plus y squared. So when we will be factoring x squared minus 2xy plus y squared. Next, we have factoring general trinomials in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, where a is equal to 1. This is the reverse process of the product of the two binomials. And then we have the last, factoring the general trinomials in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, where a is greater than 1. So this has steps to be followed to be able to get the factors. Okay, for today we will be only discussing factoring polynomials with the common monomial factor and factoring the difference of two squares. So under factoring polynomials with a common monomial factor, so always remember to always look for the GCF before using any other factoring method. So we have here the steps. Okay, step 1. First is you need to find the greatest common factor, or the GCF. And then next, divide the polynomial by the GCF. The quotient is the other factor. And then when you get that, express the polynomial as the product of the quotient and the GCF. So the answer would be the GCF and the quotient. Okay, so we have here an example. We have 6c cubed d minus 12c squared d squared plus 3cd. So first is you need to get the GCF. Okay, very good. So what is the GCF of 6, 12, and 3? So that is 3. Because you can divide 6 by 3, you can divide 12 by 3, and you can divide 3 by 3. And then sa literal coefficient, we have get the one with the smallest exponent. So that is c raised to the first power. So 1 is not written, it's invisible. And then we have d squared, and then d. So the other, the GCF is d raised to the first power. So we have here our GCF, which is equivalent to 3CD. The next step is you need to divide the given by the GCF. So divide 6c cubed d minus 12c squared d squared plus 3cd by 3cd. So we have 3cd divided by 6c c cubed d, and then divided by divide negative 12c squared d squared by 3cd, and then divide 3cd by 3cd. So that would be equal to 2c squared minus 4cd plus 1. Okay, for our next slide, the answer should look like this. So the given is 6c cubed d minus 12c squared d squared plus 3cd. So our answer would look like this. So the factors are the GCF, 3cd, times the quotient, 2c squared minus 4cd plus 1. Okay, naintindihan? Do you understand? Did you understand? Okay, let's now go to the next. Factoring polynomials that are difference of squares. So again, always look for the GCF before using any other factoring method. So a difference of squares is a binomial and its factors are like this. So we have the difference of squares. We have a squared, and then we have b squared, and then we have the minus sign. So that is the difference of 2 squares. So the format for the answer should look like this. A plus b times a minus b. So remember the format. If you see this difference of 2 squares, the answer is in this format. Okay, so to factor, you need to express each term as a square of a monomial, then apply the rule. So kailangan it should be like this. The format should be like this to be able to apply these factors. So we have x squared minus 16. So you need to express, this is x squared is already expressed in a square of a monomial, but 16 should be 4 raised to the second power. Very good. So it should look like this. X squared minus 4 raised to the second power. Then as you can see, it is in this format already. So we can apply the formula which is a plus b times a minus b. So the answer, RA would be equivalent to x and RB would be equivalent to 4. So the answer is x plus 4 times x minus 4. Were you able to get the answer? Okay, very good. Next, we have another example. So our example example is 1 over 49x squared minus 81. So we need to make this into square of a monomial. So that is 1 over 7x raised to the second power minus, so this would be 9 raised to the second power. Very good. So your answer should look like this. And then you can now follow the format. So RA is 1 over 7x and RB is 9. So the answer would be A plus B, A 1 over 7x plus 9 times 1 over 7x minus 9. So your answer should look like this. Okay, is it clear? Okay, let's now go to... Okay, so you need to try this on your own. So get your notebook and try to answer this. We have x squared minus 121. And then we have 9y squared minus 169x squared. And then last we have x raised to the fourth power minus 16. So again, express this in monomial. So this is, what is the factors of 121? And then factors of 9. And then factors of y. And then the factors of 169. And then the factors of x raised to the fourth power. And then factors of 16. So I'll give you ample time to answer on your notebook. Okay, were you able to answer? Okay, let's check your answers. So we have x squared minus 121. The answer is x plus 11 times x minus 11. Because the factors of 121 is 11. And then we have 9. So its factors are 3 and 3. And then we have 169. The factors is 13 times 13. Next. Okay, so this is, so the factor here is x squared minus 4 and x squared plus 4. But x squared minus 4 is still factorable. So the final answer should look like this. X minus 2 times x plus 2 times x squared plus 4. That's why it's written here to be very careful. Okay, I hope you got the answer. Very good. Now, in your module, answer the activities. Get your notebook. So we have 2 activities because we have 2 topics for today. So the first activity under the common monomial factor, what fruit is the main product of Tagaytay City? You will match the products in A with the factors in B to decode the answer. And another activity, what specific municipality in Cavite is known as the City of Character? Factor the given expression in A and locate the answer in B. Write the corresponding letter of the answer in the boxes provided below. Now, let's have the recap. So, under the common monomial factor, you learned that to factor polynomial with common monomial factor, first is you need to express the given polynomial as the product of the common monomial factor and quotient obtained when the given polynomial is divided by the common monomial factor. So if you can recall, we get the GCF and then we divide the given by the GCF, so that is the other factor. And then under the difference of 2 squares, the factors of the difference of 2 squares are the sum of the square roots of the first and the second term times the difference of their square roots. So if you can remember, we have a plus b times a minus b. So that is the format. Now, let's go for your assessment to check if you really understand the topic for today. So we have two topics. So under the common monomial factor, you need to factor 5x plus 5y plus 5c, 2x plus 2y plus 2c, and then we have 4x cubed plus 8x squared plus 12x. And then under the difference of squares, you need to factor x squared minus 9, x squared minus 1, and then x squared y squared minus 16. So answer this in your notebook. So for your reflection, you, the learner, in your notebook, write the following. Write your personal insights about the lesson. So you need to complete the following. I understand that blank, and then I realized that blank. So that is the end of day 1. So tomorrow, we will be discussing the next topic, factoring the sum and difference of two cubes. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson and you learned a lot from me today. So see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.